Hey everybody, Edo here, and this is Splendor Duel. Now this is a game I bought, super excited about, actually heard about it, checked for it on Amazon, couldn't find it, checked at my local store, wasn't in. It didn't come out for months and months after I was aware of it. Finally did get it, excited to play, and it's great. It's an excellent two-player version of Splendor. Splendor game is a hit game from probably, at this point, 5-6 years ago? Didn't look it up. Sometime. But actually, I find two-player Splendor pretty fun. Like, I'm not, I'm sure there are some strategies and approaches people can take, and it's not the most dynamic of choices, but it works. I've enjoyed it many times, two-player. But I'm a big fan of duel games. It's a smaller box, and I'm a big fan of smaller boxes. And at $30, you feel like you get, it's a little bit expensive for this size box, not really, but these days, but you get a lot of good stuff and components in here. The bag doesn't have a logo, but that's about the only quibble you could possibly have. These fall over a little easily. That's about it. This is a fantastic production. The tokens are as good as the original. The cards are beautiful. AAA. Okay, so if you're not familiar with Splendor, Splendor is a game where you are spending these tokens, these jewels, to buy cards, and it's an engine builder, so as you buy cards, they give you discount on more expensive cards. In the original game, all you're doing is, the gems aren't on like a board like this, they're just in a pile, and you're not drafting, but just taking them, and basically using them to buy different cards, and moving up, and you're trying to be the player who gets the most victory points in a variety of ways. And then there was actually, I don't think it's up. I don't think I have it here anymore. But they made an expansion to it, which was 4 little mods you could add to the base game, which is great. So Splendor Duel. Splendor Duel. You're playing versus one other player, and the premise is the same. On your turn, you are going to be selecting jewels, or gems, and then you are going to be using them to purchase cards. And these cards give you, so like if this one has the diamond, if I have this card, any card with a diamond is cheaper. And you're just buying up. The pyramid here is just that these are the cheapest, these are more expensive, these are really expensive. Victory conditions are really easy. Either you have 20 points, which is sort of like Splendor, 10 points on the same color. So if 10 points across jewels, and if it has a point, it's got like a 2 up here. Or 10 crowns. So those are these crowns that appear on some of the cards. So a little nuance there. They could have probably stopped there, but they added a lot of two-player dynamics that make for some really interesting play choices. So for one, let's see. What are the different interesting dynamics? One is, so when you are selecting your jewels, you're selecting in a straight line or diagonal line, but you can't pick up gold. And you can pick them up. But when you pick them up, they get picked up and put in the bag. So they're empty. So as you play, the spacing around the board becomes harder to pick up. Because now I can't, these are no longer connected. So the board starts changing. Well, one of the dynamics is the introduction of these scrolls. These scrolls are at the start of your turn. If you have one, you can spend it to pick up a resource of your, whatever type you want, not gold. And you get them by the other person doing some things. So if on their turn, if the player, and it's like a fill order, but let's say a lot of tokens have been taken. If I really, really want more stuff on the board, I can just at the start of my turn reach in and do that and lay them all out, following this sort of pattern. But if I do, you're going to get a scroll. If I take 2 pearls in the same round, you'll get a scroll. If I take 3 of the same color in the same round, you'll get a scroll. So based on my behavior, if I do something really advantageous to me, you get this slight little benefit. And this is a very tight game, so that's significant. You heard me say pearl. Pearls are new. They act like standard gems. However, they're not in the engine building game, so they're just slightly more rare. Gold works the same way it did in the original, which is if you take a gold, you can reserve a card, which is, you don't have to put the gold on it, but this is saying, no one else can get this but me. Huge, huge, huge if you want to thwart somebody who's trying to win. The last element is as you're collecting crowns, if you're collecting crowns, when you get 3 or 6, you get to pick a, what are these, noble, and they're worth victory points, but also special abilities. Actually, a number of cards have special abilities, and that's the last thing, if I said it, where you could have a card that lets you steal resource, or get a scroll, or take another turn in a row. So those were added as well, and they just appear on the banner here. Super slick, super easy to play. There are some rules, right? There's a lot more going on. Splendor was wonderful in how its simplicity and these pieces. This is like more gamey and more to think about, but once you get it, it's easy, and I think especially if you enjoyed Splendor, I like the compact size. As I said, the production is fantastic. The inside the box is an insert. You know, this is easily going to be in my top games of the year for sure. So really nice little thing that holds everything. But this is Splendor Duel. Check it out. Hey everybody, Edo here, and thanks for watching Gaming with Edo. Reviews over here on this playlist, League and Insider videos over here on this one. Subscribe, share, all that good stuff. But most importantly, play some great games. Thanks.